What is up, guys? Rick Kakis here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we're going to be talking about the Menagerie and the fact that right now it's kind of dead. Now, yes, you can still find a team if you matchmake for it, but frankly, only a week or two ago, my friends list was filled with people doing the Menagerie. Honestly, when I would try to get a group together for like a raid, someone would always say, let me finish this Menagerie run. Every single time. Right now, no one is playing the Menagerie. I was the only one trying to get footage for it to make this video. Absolutely no one is playing. Twitter is full of creators saying, I have no desire to play the Menagerie anymore, and frankly, I'm feeling that myself. So what the heck happened? Because when the Menagerie was released, it was praised as one of the best activities Destiny 2 had ever gotten, especially because of its loot. And that's where things all went awry. Pretty soon after the Menagerie released, people discovered that you could loot the end chest, run out of the map, reload the area, come back, and loot it again. Now, this was combined with the fact, and one of the most praised features, was that you could control what loot you were getting with your chalice. If you wanted a snipe rifle, you could get that snipe rifle every single time by slotting in the right ruins. So that, combined with this chest cheese, basically, made it so that farming the good Menagerie weapons, because the weapons that we're dropping are very good. The beloved snipe rifle, the Austringer hand cannon, the shotgun, even the machine gun, very, very good weapons. So you could farm them extremely efficiently, and everybody loved that. Everyone was saying that this was the best activity, had the best loot. People were actually speculating that maybe the chest glitch isn't a glitch, it's a feature because people loved it so much. But that wasn't the case. Last reset, Bungie finally decided to fix the chest exploit, and they made it so that now, when you do the Menagerie, you can open the end chest one time, and that's it. And that is really all they did. They didn't change the activity at all except for that feature, and that feature alone has caused the downfall of this once great activity. Now, I have heard a lot of people saying that, oh, you're just complaining. You guys were making the most of something that wasn't intended, and now they finally fixed it. You should shut up. Don't be a crybaby. Just play the game as it was intended. And here's why I really don't like that argument. Not a single one of us are playing Destiny 2 right now as it was intended. We'd be using double primaries and no random rolls if that was the case. Seriously, what was originally intended for Destiny 2 and where things are now are vastly different. So what is intended is not always the right choice for the player base. And again, I would point your direction to literally the entire history of Destiny 2. All right, things change, the players and the developers don't always see eye to eye, and that is frankly a healthy thing, because one of the best parts about Destiny 2 as a game, as an experience, is watching it improve, watching Bungie listen to the community and implement all of these fan favorite features, fan favorite, say that 3 times in a row, that really has drastically changed the experience when you're playing now versus when you played when the game came out is so different, and it's so different for the better. And we kind of see that happening with this Menagerie chest farm. What Bungie intended was clearly for you to hit the chest one time. But what they intended, and what the player base actually wants, and what's good for the community in my opinion, is not the same thing. And one of the most interesting things about this whole scenario is that when the chest glitch was active, it kind of showcased just how severe the RNG is within Destiny 2. Now, of course, you need some degree of randomness in this type of game. It's a looter shooter. If you got everything you wanted right away, you'd be done with the game, and that's kind of what happened when Destiny 2 launched. So having random rolls is a great thing. Having to play an activity multiple times before you get exactly what you want is a good thing. It's a healthy thing for the game. It may not feel like it sometimes. I still don't have the Terabot, and I've been doing it 3 times every week. But when I get it, I'm probably going to stop grinding COS 3 times a week. So it keeps me playing. You need that thing to chase. But again, we had this chest exploit. You were getting loot way more often than normal. And people still didn't get what they want. Like, that's kind of the crazy thing. It's not like they fixed this chest glitch and everyone had done it so much that they're like, well, I got my God Roll Austringer, I got my God Roll Shotgun, I'm good to go. Whatever, fix it, I don't care. People were like, I still want to play this activity. I'm still chasing that roll, the fabled God Roll on whatever weapon. And again, with that insane glitch, with you getting so much more loot than normal, people still didn't get what they want. And that shows you just how unlikely it is to go and get those absolute perfect God rolls. And it kind of shows that maybe Bungie can ease up on the RNG a little bit in the game. I mean, I would draw your attention to the Reckoning. No one wants to play the Reckoning right now. It has some very good, desirable weapons, just like Menagerie, but everyone was playing Menagerie and no one was playing Reckoning because the RNG on Reckoning was so severe. You'd often play a game, tier 3, the most difficult tier, and you would often get nothing. Not just not the weapon you want, not just not the roll you want, literally nothing. And while, as I've said, RNG is a healthy thing, too much RNG is bad because, yes, you're chasing that carrot on a stick, but if it's truly unattainable, you'll lose interest and you'll stop doing that activity. And that's really what happened with Menagerie. Because of the chest exploit, that carrot was actually pretty reasonable to get. It didn't seem impossible. Getting the God Roll Austringer was a reasonable thing to do. But it even then had limitations. I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting that it costs ruins. It costs ruins to get Austringers. It costs ruins to get any of the Menagerie loot. So even with this chest glitch, yes, you would do one round and you would hit it 5 times and you'd get a bunch of Austringers. But then you'd be out of, green ruins. You'd have to go run strikes for 3 hours and then you'd come back and do it again. So it really wasn't as exploitive as people are making it out to seem. You had that massive limitation of requiring ruins, especially because the blue runes and the green runes were massive bottlenecks. Most of the good guns required that. Green runes result in range masterworks, which is what you want for the Austringer and the shotgun. So you actually had pretty severe limitations for how often you could get loot even with this chest glitch. And so, what does Bungie do now? Well, frankly, I think it's possible they just don't do anything. And yes, it annoys a lot of the hardcore players, but you still do have a reason to do the Menagerie. It's not the end of the world, for sure. But the problem is for the new players. People are starting Destiny every single day. They're reaching the level required or they're buying the annual pass in order to play the Menagerie, and it's really unfair to those players. All of us who hit the chest a million times and have a bunch of half-decent but not God-roll Austringers have a big advantage over the new players. Like, they're getting screwed, and whether or not they even know it. And it also negatively impacts them because, and I haven't seen a lot of people talking about this, the Menagerie got a lot harder after they patched the chest. Now, how is that possible? Well, it's because all the people like myself who hit it a million times don't want to do it anymore. AKA, all the hardcore players aren't interested in the Menagerie anymore. They already have good enough rolls that they're like, it's not worth the grind anymore. So the only people matchmaking for Menagerie are the newer players for the most part, whereas before you would have 2 to 3 actually really experienced players with really good loadouts that would help everyone get through the Menagerie pretty quickly, kill the boss pretty quickly. Now, it's a lot of like blueberries. Well, I mean, it's always blueberries, but you know what I mean. It's a lot of players who weren't that hardcore, didn't hit the chest a million times. So for a lot of Menagerie runs, it's going to be more difficult to get less loot. And that seems pretty crappy. So again, what should Bungie do? I think there's a couple of different solutions. I do recognize that, 5 times a run may have been too ridiculous. So let's say that just reverting this nerf entirely isn't in the cards. So first thing you can do is just lower the time limit. It was 300 seconds when you're done a Menagerie match. Why do you need that long? I've heard people say it's to look for lore. You can look for lore in 200 or 150 seconds. Seriously, slashing the time from 300 to 150, so you can hit the chest instead of 5 times, maybe 3 times. You know, if you're fast, that seems not that unreasonable. It's still a nerf, it's not as ridiculous as it once was, but it's kind of still reasonable, and you have a lot more desire from players to do it because you are getting more than just one. Like, going from 5 to 1 is such a massive downgrade. That's really what's causing all the problems. What's another solution? Well, and this is not as preferred as the last one, but still possible. There's a perk that you can put on your chalice that makes it so that instead of getting just 1 piece of loot, you get 2. You get essentially 1 for free. Well, why not make that 100% guaranteed to happen once you get that perk for your chalice? So instead of getting 1 piece of loot at the end, you are always getting 2 as long as you have that perk. Now, that's not perfect, but again, it's so much better than just 1. But the fact of the matter is that Bungie should do something. Too many activities have come and gone and stayed dead. That doesn't have to happen with the Menagerie. Please, Bungie, give us a reason to play again. Guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you agree with me, please remember to support the video by liking and especially sharing. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.